Hello there, I'm Scotty, and you're not. Welcome to From the Vault, where we look at things from 2007 to, I guess, 2015 as the stopping point. I don't want to go too modern, because it's called From the Vault. I wanted to do stuff that is more modern. I do Retro Rewind, which is stuff from the 90s and early 2000s. And so I decided I wanted to do something for those that I watched when I was a young adult. So from 2007 to, I don't know, 2015, whatever it was that I read it. I mean, I still watch cable every once in a while, but these are my young adult years where I just, watch stuff that was on. So today we are journeying back all the way to the year 2009 for an episode of the show called I'm in the Band, which is a sitcom that aired on Disney's sister channel, Disney XD, from 2009 to 2011, and was about Trip Campbell, played by Logan Miller, who is this teenager. I'm sorry, hold on a minute. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. You have that itch you just can't reach? How to get the old tongues out, scratching. My lord, back, Anyway. So I'm in the Band tells the story of Trip Campbell, teenage aspiring guitarist. A teenage guitarist who aspires to be a part of his favorite band, Iron Weasel. And so he ends up winning a contest. Have Iron Weasel come over for dinner and tries to talk them into becoming their new guitarist. Of course, they have no no interest in this, but eventually he talks them into it, and they end up living at his house. Yep, I'm in the Band, and they live at his house in the garage area, and his mom just allows it. His mom, played by Beth Littleford, would also go on to with the co-star of this, Stephen Full, who plays Ash, will go on to be on the Disney Channel show Dog with a Block. The three members of Iron Weasel are Derek Jupiter, played by Steve Valentine, but singing voice done by, according to what I could find, Robert Mason. I was for sure it was, what's his face from Animaniacs? I can't think of his name. Wacko. Wacko, the guy who does Wacko. Him. I was for sure it was him. But, everything I kept looking up, because, he does rock cover bands and stuff. But, apparently it's Robert Mason. I don't know. It still sounds to me like the guy who played voice Wacko, but, he's the lead singer of the group and the only British member, and that's never really explained. Is British. And he is the more vain, full of himself guy of the band. Stephen Full plays Ash, the drummer, and the dumb one. Although all equally dumb in their own way. But he is supposed to be the stupid one. And then we have Greg Baker, previously seen on episodes of That's So Raven, I believe, as a teacher, now playing Burger Pitt. Yes, that is his real name. The bass guitarist of Iron Weasel. There's also other characters, but for this episode, you don't really need to know about that. That's basically the setup, is that this band is living inside Trip's house. Okay, so the episode we are talking about was actually the second episode of the series. I Want to Punch Stuff. Punch stuff! I want to punch stuff. I want to punch stuff. I want to punch, bam, boom, slam, kick, punch stuff. In this episode, Trip has recently gone through a breakup with his girlfriend Lana, who we have never seen before. Somehow, between the first episode and this one, he got together with a girl, and then she broke up with him for his rival, Bryce Johnson, who we don't see until season 2, and who will be played by Spencer Boldman from Lab Rats. Yeah, but he's mentioned here as this overarching villain that we never really see until later. This overarching, arch nemesis of Trip's, that stole a girl from him in kindergarten, and now in response to being dumped, he channels his anger into a song. I want to punch stuff. And so that's what it is. He eventually does get back together with Lana because he lies about Bryce Johnson putting his farts in a jar. And the orchestrating leads to them watching MMA fight and finding out that their former roadie, Ernesto the Besto, or Ernesto as it was back then, is now an MMA fighter called Ernesto the Besto. And you'd be remiss if you thought this was Wolf from American Gladiators. It is not. I looked it up. It is not. I don't know what it looks like, but it is not. Yeah. So, the whole thing is they have Tug of War Tuesdays, and the gag is that they all gang up on Burger because Burger is somehow super strong. He's like, it's gonna be, if you don't, it's like, because he's so bummed out about being broken up with it, he's not in the mood for Tug of War Tuesday. But if you're not here, it's not gonna be even size. It can't be me and Ash against Burger. It's gonna be you, me, and Ash against Burger. And apparently they did use the neighbor, Mr. Taguchi, for it as well, but that didn't work out either. I don't know. Rewatching this, some of the gags didn't sit like, I don't know. Some of the gags they just didn't hit like they did when I was younger. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm growing older, getting more mature. Okay, more mature than I was back then. Okay, but I don't know. It's just like when Ash would do a gag. It's like there's one thing where it's like, so Trip names his guitar Angie, and Ash has a hard time differentiating Angie and Lana. So he's like, okay. Lana, girl, Angie, guitar, which would have been enough, but then he goes, pick up grandma from airport. Uh-oh. And then it cuts to the grandma waiting at the airport. Like, that's not funny. Your grandma's now stuck at the airport because you forgot to pick her up. And he never goes to pick her up. It's at the end of the episode that she walks in having gotten a taxi. He realizes that he forgot to pick up his grandma and doesn't go and pick her up. It's not funny. That's and then you have the running gag with Lana, which is she's stupid. So she comes in, and now they're telling a bunch of jokes that are supposed to be funny, where they're naming off all these bad things about Trip, so she'll break up with him, like he has a hairy back. And once again, Ash is the big bomb of this, where he keeps going on and on and on about how much back hair Trip has, and she's just stupid looking at him. The only one that I laugh is like when he says, it's like the hair on my head, but on his back. The only gets me. The only gag of Ash's that gets me is later after she breaks up with him. Because, you see, they decide to tell her that Trip is cheating on her with another girl named Angie. Lest you forget that's the name of his guitar. Of course, he never tries to clear this up. She asks about Angie, and instead of saying, like a normal person would, oh, yeah, that's my guitar. Instead, no, it's going to be a misunderstanding a la Three's Company, where she thinks it's another girl, and he starts talking things about, last night we were on the phone, she was on my lap the whole time, and when I go up, I lock her up so no one else can touch her. And she's like, well, that's it, Trip Campbell, I had to look at the name, I would never date a guy who would treat a girl like that. Girl, what? And so then she leaves, she dumps him again, she leaves. Because the reason why they force her to break up with him is so, okay, so, I guess I forgot to mention, Ernesto the Besto was their roadie. They treated him like shit, so now he wants to kill them. He wants to punch them stuff. He wants to punch stuff. Them is the punch stuff. But Trip gets out of it by saying that he can use I want to punch stuff as his entrance theme. but they need to finish it. But Trip is in such a good mood after getting back together with Lana, he can't write the song. So they hatched a plan for her to break up with Trip, to break them up so that he will finish writing the song, which afterwards he is angry enough to do it. But the gag comes when they pretend like they're doing other things when he walks in the kitchen, right? Derek is pretending to clean, Burger's pretending to cook, and Ash is down there like this. And he goes, "Are you milking a cow?" He goes, "No, I'm getting ready to fight a leprechaun." I don't know why, but that was the one Ash joke that made me laugh in this entire episode. And there's more to it too, because when they go to leave, and he comes back and he goes, "We'll have our fight when we get back," or whatever. But they rush him in and they finish the song. And the whole thing with Ernesto was that they were mean to him. He was proposing to his girlfriend, Julie, and they pantsed him, which caused her to say no, apparently. You would think it would cause sympathy. Like, yes, I'll marry you and I'll take away from these horrible people, but no. And then Derek ended up dating Julie, which, I don't know, was supposed to make him more angry, but he didn't even know about it until, And Derek dating Julie. You dated Julie? He didn't know that. But, which is a little funny. But, with that part, not him dating her, it's like, let's add a little more fly to the ointment here. Let's make it worse. The situation. Sure. And so this should have been their redemption, right? This should have been Iron Beetle's redemption for Ernesto. They give him a cool song. He's ready to fight. And they pants him again. And really this time, again, like I said, sometimes you watch stuff when you're younger that was thought was funny. I don't think I ever thought this was funny, but even now I find it more redundant, as this whole episode is about making amends, right? And then it's like they were writing this episode, right? And we need something funny to happen in the end. I'll just have them pants him again. But that destroys everything they did the entire episode to try to get back into good graces with Ernesto. And all we get at the end is, Ernesto is not going to be in prison for 2 to 3 years. So we don't have to worry about him until then. Because he freaked out and attacked everyone. And Trip gets back together with Lana, although I don't think we ever hear from her again. No, Bryce Johnson does come into the picture later, but I don't think we ever hear from him again, so that's not really anything. But yeah, this was interesting. It's always interesting to go back and watch shows that you used to watch. I don't know. And a part of these as well with these with this and Retro Rewind is to go back from the vault. That's what I forget it. Is to go back and try to remember the good stuff I used to watch. I still think the show has some merit, but in this particular episode, it did go down for me. I still like the song. So I like the song. I like the characters, the way they're portrayed. Derek Jupiter is still my favorite character. But some of the plot point ideas, they're trying to be funny for funny's sake, and it's not funny. Like, we need a funny gag at the end. He pantses Ernesto again. Not understanding that undoes all the goodwill that they've done into this entire episode. And it kind of negates the whole point of breaking up Trip and Lana to get your song that you're gonna perform as the entrance theme, and now probably would never get used again. But it's okay because Trip and Lana got back together, even though we never see them again. And it's a little murky. But, I don't know. There are some good points. That leprechaun joke is still funny to me. I don't know why. But it is. But, yeah. So what are your thoughts on this episode? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'm pretty sure this is not going to get a lot of views. Unless there are people out there who remember I'm that man, which, if you are, Iron Wings Lights Unite. But they even did a sort of crossover with Sweet Life on Deck. Although I think they were only on the SS Tipton. I think Mr. Mosby was the only character that crossed over. maybe London. I seem to remember some kind of London and Ash thing. I don't know. I don't remember like the whole. I'll have to look it up. I'll have to look it up, and maybe I'll do a short. Although this is coming out after the new year, so I don't know. I'm pre-recording this. Although I'm doing this on the 30th. I'm recording on the 30th, the day before New Year's Eve. So yeah. So thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's see. Boom.